The book is really about fear and overcoming fear, isn't it? And I just keep thinking fear can be quite good. You know, I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop myself doing silly things.
You can have a slight paranoia that helps you be aware of situations, and even in the 48 Laws of Power that Robert wrote, there's some things in there that you might feel like are evil, but you need to be aware of them because someone else's intentions might be very well what that law of power is. You know, so like when I got a chance to talk to him, we even brought it down to the perspective of a person that's in a staff meeting that is watching someone else raise their hand to answer a question that they know the answer to. And that means that person deserves to be ahead of you in life because your fear of being wrong at that point is not allowing you to create your value in the workspace.
The book is really based and recounts your experiences of hustling and selling drugs in Southside Queens. And you can draw lessons for business in the staff room from that really completely different world.
The boss in the neighborhood doesn't see killing someone as it doesn't rule killing someone out as an option to expand business. When in corporate America, I've interacted with people that absolutely have intentions of killing the competition in a different way.
But it's just not literally killing, it's yeah. Have you overcome fear? I mean, you were shot 9 times in the year 2000. In terms of dealing with fear, I suppose you're not scared of anything after that.
Well, when you're in life-threatening situations, it makes you a little more conscious of death. You know, and the more that you are aware of your fate, the higher the probability you have a chance to live. So you're a little more free. Like I go into what Robert kind of identified as the core of my power is me being in business situations and being the person with the least fear at the table. And that's because I weigh these things up against my biggest losses in my life. So like the loss of my mom is the biggest thing that I've experienced. So walking into a room, even at the worst possible scenario, it won't damage me to the point or hurt as much as that hurt it. So I'll go in there in a secure space, able to speak and ask the questions, and I'd rather feel like I'm unaware for the moment within those quarters than to feel like I'm unaware in a losing situation.
I mean, the book does describe some fairly nasty incidents. I mean, just in a chapter about the Hustler King, you slash the face of a rival's assistant who's out to hurt you. Yeah. I mean, looking back on all of that, I mean, how do you sort of feel? Because you've just moved so far away from that now.
Yeah, I did. But, you know, like, I think the things you go through make you who you are. So I don't regret those things. I don't regret them because I don't think I'd be who I am today if I wasn't exposed to those situations. If you ask me, those are unfortunate situations that I've had to experience. And if I had a choice, I would have definitely went in a different direction. I might have wanted to go to school for business instead of having to go through this portion of my life.
But tough lesson, yeah.
Yeah, but under those circumstances, when you're in an environment where you meet aggression with aggression, or you're deemed weak, and the weak becomes the prey, you gotta kind of back people off of you at different points.
And it really felt like that in that.
Literally. Yeah. And when you're willing to go as far as further than the other guy, you always prevail. You always end up on top. It's like the kid in the schoolyard that doesn't want to fight always leaves with a black eye, because as soon as the other kid identifies he doesn't want to fight, he hits him.
But this is back to the negative view of human beings.
Yeah, like,
I mean, I never wanted to fight, but kids. Actually, I did get hit at school a little bit, but not very much.
But when they say no, I really don't want to do it. Pop, that's when you get hit. You just gave the other guy enough confidence to hit you at that point. Especially when there's a bunch of kids behind him jumping up and down saying, "Whoop him." You know, like those experiences from when I was really small, I identify with that. So I ain't never been in a space or those situations where, even if I didn't want to fight, I didn't show them.
And then let's talk about the world of rap, which is a bizarre world, obviously, hip-hop. I have to ask you why you have all these beefs with people. You just get into arguments with people all the time, feuds. What's going on?
The competitive nature of hip-hop has always been one of the driving forces, one of the elements in the art form that keeps it thriving. The youthful audience that's attracted to it has a low attention span, so it's always out with the old and with the new, as far as they're concerned. So the guy that comes into hip-hop music, you know, while we continuously use metaphors for things, I'll use the metaphor of a fighter. A fighter will go into the actual gym, day 2, his coach is calling him champ. Because he weighs 154 pounds, he's watching Floyd Mayweather fight saying, I'm gonna beat Floyd Mayweather one day, or I'll be as good as Floyd Mayweather. When he doesn't even know how to fight at that point. He just begins his training. You know, and rappers psychologically are like fighters, where they condition themselves to believe they're as good as the guy that is in position at that point. So I'm constantly challenged. They come prematurely and I damage their careers, because when you compete with an artist that has a higher consistency than you, they match you up against that artist, the public, and then you just dwindle away. But I'm more fused than the average artist because I'm more vocal, I generate more interest, and I'm obviously in a space that they'd actually like to be in. See, when the director yells cut, none of my things go away. The big house is still there, the nice cars are there, the attractive women are there. When he yells cut to them, everything goes away. They write the life that they aspire to have, and I'm writing the struggle.
I want to ask you a last couple of points. Women and gays. What is it with rappers and women?
This is great.
You know, You're right, my alley with this. Is this an affectation, the language?
No.
And the...
See, you know what
Is it ironic or is it serious?
Because the song is 3 minutes before you reach an overkill point. You only have enough time to create a description. There's no time to develop cause and effect. There's no time to establish social standards or moral standards. So when you make reference to whore, do you know what I'm talking about? The average woman is out in a nightclub that hears that is not offended by it.
Right.
Because morally she knows that's not me he's talking about.
Right. And they can tell. The
right.
people who listen can
exactly.
tell the difference.
And if you look at female consumers of hip-hop music, while these things are there, they don't have an issue with it.
They don't have an issue. I see. So it's people who just dip in and listen to 2 words.
Right. So now, if you say gays.
Right. Well, the gays was the other one, because not you personally, but the world of rap seems obsessed with it. It just seems to be this obsession. So it's the way rappers insult each other, the way Rick Ross insults you as producers of video. Your label's G Unit. He mocks Gay Unit and sort of has you in a cartoon. And I mean, it just seems a very odd way to. It's almost as though there's a kind of masculinity thing that's lying at the root of this. So the one fear that you all have is the fear of masculinity, of somehow losing masculinity.
Well, yeah, that's a part of it too. Like, from that perspective, to say that you were weaker would be to say that you're actually gay. And I know some gay guys that have whooped Rick Ross's ass. You know, and it's not like with no problem. They're thinking the guy that is weak, that wants to actually be a woman. And then they say, oh, you're soft. That's his way of saying you're soft. He's not trying to disrespect gay people. 2 words, what do you fear now in your life? I feel like I can't change, and that's that I'm misunderstood. You know, my confidence is mistaken for arrogance constantly. People don't actually understand my intentions a lot of the time. Because what I've offered is myself. So there's artists out there that can beat me at doing different things, but not at being me. So once the public embraces me and says 50 is cool, or I like 50 Cent, can't nobody beat me at being that.